All right, what's up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with another GSD Mode podcast weekly real estate tip, where every single week I come to you sharing different tips, tactics, and strategies that I've learned on my 20-year-long real estate journey that have allowed me to become one of the top realtors and team leaders on the planet, with selling well over 7,000 homes, and sharing this information with you in hopes that you take this information in, that you take massive action on it, to go out there and create that life and real estate business that you truly know that you want and deserve. All right, so today I'm here to talk to you about the 5 biggest mistakes realtors make when setting up their CRMs. This is something that's really, really essential. And not only am I going to go through what the 5 mistakes are, but I want to help ensure that you avoid making these mistakes. And why is this so important? All right, so our CRM is our number one most important tool that we utilize on a daily basis inside of our business. Now, if you watch or listen to this podcast for a long time, you hear me talk about this all the damn time, but there are 2 most important systems overall inside of our business. Number one is our tracking system. So our tracking system is the only way to create predictability, allows us to know exactly what we need to do to win each and every single day. But then also allows us to see the biggest areas of improvement. So from a planning and then also a growth and improvement, like you cannot make smart strategic decisions if you are not tracking your numbers. Your business can never be predictable. So if you want to ever replicate and scale your business and be able to do that with precision and guarantee to do that, if you're not tracking, okay, those things are going to be an impossibility for you, and you're just going to have a shit ton of extra resistance that are unnecessary for the rest of your entire career. Secondary, so tracking system is, high level from being able to make smart strategic decisions in our business. That is the most important system for that. Then on a daily use tool standpoint, our CRM is our most important daily system, our system that we are using on a day-to-day business to manage our overall business. So a CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management System. You and I are in the human relationship, human connection business. It is an impossibility to maximize and optimize on lead source conversions and just managing all these connections at the highest level without a CRM. So now let's dive into the 5 biggest mistakes, as well as what to do to ensure that you do not make these overall mistakes. Now, real quick, before I jump into the 5 mistakes, I highly encourage you to go to www.gsdmode.com and register for my 100% free 3-hour in-depth masterclass, which is 6 steps to 3xing or more your real estate business in this current real estate market. Now, it's 100% free. There's no strings attached. This is a 100% in-depth, hardcore masterclass. I know 3 hours is a long time, but I want to make sure that you are armed with all the information and tools. So I'm going to walk you through exactly what I'm continuing to do, what my team's doing, what we're doing to grow and thrive in these challenging times. Now, with this, at the end of the masterclass, I'm going to give you, I've designed this training where the actual slide deck becomes your playbook guide, because I want to make sure not only are you gathering the information that you need on the training, but I want to make sure then you have the guide to be able to follow so you can implement and execute on this stuff. So if your business is struggling at all, or if your business is not exactly where you want it to be, or maybe you're doing really good, you just want to take it to the next level, go take that masterclass. Go to www.gsdmode.com. You'll see it on the front page, on the front page to register, or you can go to free resources. You'll see the drop down there for the online masterclass. But I encourage you I do it every single day. It's training that's going on every single day. And I do that. If you enjoy these and you enjoy this podcast, that is on this podcast on steroids, right? So giving you guys the training and the tools to murder it in this market. If you want to take action on that, that's your choice, but I highly recommend that you do. Okay, now let's jump into the 5 mistakes. Okay, so mistake number 1 is they don't know what a CRM actually is. Now, this might sound silly. Josh, I know what a CRM is. You just said it's Customer Relationship Management System. No, let's unpack this a little bit more. Like really making sure you have the mental framing around what it is. So think of this as your technology assistant. That's how I think of a CRM, my technology assistant. Now, if you were going to hire an assistant, you are going to hire that assistant so you can delegate out specific tasks to that assistant so they can take over those tasks so you don't have to do them, right? But then from there, there's going to be tasks that you can't delegate to your assistant, but you want that assistant to remind you to do those tasks so then you don't forget to do those. So thinking about this is your technology assistant to allow you to be as effective and efficient on operating, the activities that you need to do to manage these relationships at the highest possible level. Now, you would never hire an assistant without training them. You got to make sure. So just like with our CRM, like we got to understand it, but then we got to make sure we train it. We got to feed it. We got to feed it the right instructions, just like you do with an assistant. You would not expect that assistant to have success if you didn't take the time to make sure that they were trained and set up for success. So mistake number one is just not making the mistake of not understanding what a CRM is. Okay, now that we understand what it is, we're thinking of it the right way. We understand that we got to know what the specific tasks are that we're going to have it do, what the tasks are we're going to delegate to it. We're going to train it. We're going to feed it the right instructions, and give it, the support and training that it needs to go out there and have success. All right. So then mistake number two is choosing the wrong CRM system. Now, what do I mean by this? A system exists only to execute on your processes. Your processes are the step-by-step actions based on the strategies that you have inside your business. Not all CRMs are the same. Some of them have some commonalities, but different CRMs do different things for different reasons, right? So then from there, most people, I see this all the time. They just choose the wrong damn system. Like, oh, I need new systems. I need a better system. Oh, I heard that this one was good on a Facebook group, so I go out there and select it. And they don't even know if that thing can function in the way that they need it to function. And the only way to know that is you got to reverse engineer this. So you got to know what your strategies are. Here's the strategies that I'm doing. So your strategies, your overall effective plan to get you from where you're at to where you want to go. So here's my overall strategies. Here's my overall growth strategies, right? Then from there, we have processes, which are the documentations of the step-by-step actions that we are doing for those strategies. Then those processes then live inside that system. That system only exists to execute on your processes in the way that you need them to be executed on. So when you are clear on what your strategies are and what your processes are, now then you know exactly how you need the system to work for you. No different than, like I said, for the mistake number one, is knowing, okay, what are the exact tasks I need this assistant to do for me if I'm hiring an assistant? That is what like a CRM is. Like, but you got to know what the tasks are that you need it to do for you so you can identify the right one. Look, there are great CRMs out there that are not great for me and my business because of the way that I run and operate my business. I do my business differently than, some realtors out there. So then, okay, the CRM for them might be good for them, but isn't good for me, and vice versa, right? So you got to make sure that you are choosing the right CRM. Okay, so mistake number three, they do not take the time to learn and master it. You got to master the tools inside your business. This is why you've heard me talk about in the podcast before. Now, maybe this is the first time tuning in, so you haven't heard me talk about this, but so I'm going to restate it here, but less is more. And the reason why I say that is I want the least amount of systems. Now, if you know me, I am a systems and process freak. I leverage this shit to the gill, leverage automation to the gill, right? And you don't become a top producer at my level unless, well, I shouldn't say that. There's probably some that, have, but in most cases, get to, the level that I'm at and doing the volume that I'm doing, without being a system and process freak, and leveraging technology. So then from there though, I want to have lesser systems. So I use 4 primary systems for a whole entire business. Even though we're, running a mega team, we're doing a shit ton of volume, I got 4 systems. And the reason why I want lesser, not 4 CRMs, but 4 total systems to really manage my whole entire business. CRM being one of those, which is the one that I utilize and have as perfect storm for my CRM. But with that, the reason why I want the least amount of systems in my business is so I can take the time to truly learn them, truly master them, and then execute and use the shit out of them, inside my business. So you got to take the time to learn and master it. Like thinking of this as, I don't know, like, okay, if you're any professional at anything that they're doing, it doesn't matter what that thing is, whether it's, music, whether it's athletics, whether it's, I don't know, soldier going to war, like they're going to master their tools. Yeah. Right. So you got to master the tools that you're using inside your business. Now, when it comes to CRM specifically, here's just a piece of advice, is know what you need to master within that system, right? And what I mean by this is, okay, a lot of these CRMs can do hundreds, if not thousands of things. So it can be very complex. It can be very overwhelming. There's only 4 things that like you really need to get dialed in, that you really need to master, that are going to yield you 99.9% of your results. So why waste the time trying to master the other 996 things? Like, just hone in those 4 things, get those 4 things dialed in, so what are those 4 things? I'm going to make sure to categorize and organize it. So I know how to categorize and organize it correctly. I'm going to make sure to get my automation set up correctly. So mastering and learning my drip emails, drip text messages, drip tasks. Then from there, I'm going to master and learn my broadcast mass emails. Then I'm going to master and learn how to clear up my daily task queue and working that contact record properly. Like, those are the things. Like, dial those things in, and that's going to get you 99.9% of your results. Like, you don't need to master all the bells and whistles. That's just ways to upsell you. Like, it's all bullshit. It's not even going to really impact your business, help your business. I'm not saying that some of those other things might not be kind of cool, the bells and whistles, but it's like, dude, just master those. It's going to get you 99.9% of your results. Those are not super complicated things, but most people get bogged down with trying to learn all this bullshit. Because most CRMs, they keep bolting on all these magical things, right? Because they know that most of our industry have shiny object syndrome, shiny penny syndrome. That's the thing that hooks them, to sell them on that thing. And then they just end up being a shit ton of distractions. Just simplify, right? Simplify. Okay. So number 4, they don't take the time. So mistake number 4 is they don't take the time to feed it the right instructions. So we talked about this earlier with, thinking of your CRM as your technology assistant. So you got to feed it the right. These are your processes. These are your instructions. So I'm just telling you right now, like, every CRM that I've ever used, their drips suck. They're like you got, and look, so full disclosure, I know I said I use Perfect Storm, but I also own Perfect Storm. I'm not creating this podcast to try to pitch you guys on Perfect Storm or sell you Perfect Storm. This podcast, I don't pitch these products on there, whatever. With that, but every CRM. Oh no, where I was going to go here is I can get away with what I'm going to say because I'm a tech company owner, right? So you got these tech geeks in most of the situations that are amazing at tech, but they don't know shit about real estate. Now, like for me, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm a tech geek, but I also, been in the industry for 20 plus years. Like, I know inside and out. And I own the company. I'm not a developer. I've got developers that work for me, right? So, but when it comes to this, what I quickly discovered is like all that stuff is bullshit. Like, all their drips, all that stuff is just, so, okay, I'm going to go in there and write my own crap. I'm going to go in there and set up all my own instructions, all my, hey, this lead automatically comes in. Here's what I need to instruct the system to do. So let's say I got a Facebook lead coming. Okay, I want it to receive an immediate email, immediate text message. Then I want to immediately add in my 1,000-day nurture long-term email text strip follow-up plan. Then I want it to task me immediately to call them day 1, then every other day for the first 14 days, and every 21 days for the first year. Now that call tasking frequency exists until I get them on the phone, have a conversation with them, identify their goal, identify their timeline, set an appointment if able or appropriate, if unable or appropriate, because I know goal and timeline. Then now I know what to cue it to based on if they're under 6 months, 6 to 12 months, 12 plus months. Okay, then I got all my detours set in there. Okay, if I set a buyer appointment for a buyer consult and they no-show me, okay, boom, all I do is click a button and it fires off my 26-day, 12-touch sequence. That's going to automatically email them 6 times, automatically task me 6 times to call them over the next 26 days. If I'm unable to set that appointment in the next 26 days or reset that appointment in the next 26 days, then boom, they go into my ongoing lead nurture follow-up. So those are the instructions. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I know I went quick there, with that, but like, you've got to feed it the instructions. So thinking about, okay, every lead that you're entering in, what is the perfect overall follow-up protocol, email, text, property alerts, broadcast emails, call sequences, whatever. And you've got to set that up. You got to create the content. You got to set that up. No different. Remember, this is your technology assistant. So no different than if you are going to hire an assistant, you need to train them on the tasks in the way that you need them to, complete those tasks. Same thing here, right? Okay. And then number five, mistake number five. Now, this is more, I know this podcast was centered around biggest mistakes when setting up your CRM. So the first four that I walked you through are the biggest mistakes when we set up our CRM. I'm going to add a number five in here. And this is really around, okay, if you even if you have it set up correctly, this is then the mistake that others make, biggest mistake people make, even once you nail 1 through 4, is then not jumping in there and using it consistently every single day. So here's what I do, right? So I got a button set up inside my CRM, where I have to just log in every single day. I click that button. It shows me every single task that I have due for that day. So maybe I got 50 contacts in my CRM that have a task. I just click on the first person, shows me what their task is, what I need to do, complete the task, log it, do it, update the contact record. If I need to add another task, just work that contact record, go to the next, go to the next, go to the next. And when I get done with get on that last person, okay, I can't go forward anymore, right? So I call it clearing the plate. That's what we call it internally in my organization, right? So clearing the plate every single day. I'm not saying you won't have days off, but at least Monday through Friday, every work day, you got to make sure you're clearing that plate. Like, you got to get in there. This is your most important tool that you're using in a daily basis. So I have a rule of thumb now. I work with two monitors set up everywhere, whether it's my home office, because even on laptops, you can get a secondary screen for those, so it's like, dude, my CRM, like if I am not on an appointment and out of the office, my CRM is up. Like, I'm living inside that system, so then that way it's like no details missed. Every note is added, it's the most important tool inside of our system or inside of our business, right? So got to make sure not that you're just using it daily, but you should be using it there's no other system you should be in more than your CRM. Now, some people are like, well, emails. Well, okay, I'm going to email and text out of my system, right? So, I even use it more than in my email box because I'm, managing my emails through my CRM. So, okay, those are overall the 5 biggest mistakes realtors make when it comes to setting up and really using their CRMs overall, along with tips to ensure that you don't make those same mistakes. So hopefully this was helpful. And again, I encourage you to go to www.gsdmode.com. Make sure to jump on that free masterclass, 6 steps to 3xing or more your real estate business within the next 12 months, 3-hour in-depth masterclass. Promise you, I'm not there to waste your time, not here to waste your time. You will get a ton of gold out of it. I want to make sure that all of you are supported in the way that you need to be supported to crush your real estate goals in this challenging market that we're in. I hope that this has been helpful. Keep crushing it, and I will talk to you soon. Peace.